Hey, my name's Laura and you're watching the second part of my double stick tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to be teaching you about 6 or 7 different tricks. The first one is not really a trick, but it's kind of like an idle. It's called the helicopter, and it looks like this, and you'll see people doing double sticks, they do this a lot. It's kind of like the free ball cascade and juggling. It's just like a, like an idle position or an idle motion that you do. This is basically like tic-toc, but instead of bouncing it back and forth, you're bringing one in and you're pushing the other one out to make it go around like this. And what I've found about this is that you kind of just naturally want to do this the more you use these, because I didn't have any instruction. When I started doing double sticks, I just was doing them outside in my yard, and eventually over time I just started to get this without anyone telling me that I wanted to do this or that this was a trick or anything. And I've seen people do it a lot. They just say, I feel like I keep wanting to bring it around like this. So eventually you'll get this one, and then it's kind of hard to explain because it's just kind of like, muscle memory. You're so used to doing it. But the better you get at it, the faster you can go, and then you don't really have to think about it or anything. And then you can do a toss in the helicopter just by hitting it a little bit harder. That. Just like with the tic-toc, but you're kind of hitting it and it's going in that motion instead. And then there's the one-handed helicopter, which is a little bit harder. It looks like this. With this, you want to get a good fast helicopter, and then you want to hit it with your hand stick. Usually people use like their right hand stick, and you want to hit it on the center line. And what it's going to be doing is like a 180-degree rotation. You want to hit it every 180-degree rotation and keep it going. And then the one-handed helicopter will look like this. And with this, you want to make sure that you're hitting underneath the double stick, that each time you're coming under it and hitting it upwards. One of the nice things about learning how to do a good one-handed helicopter is that it can help you a lot with throws. You can do a throw just by hitting the double stick a little harder, but the best way to do it is to hit it in the center line, just like you do with the one-handed helicopter. And it'll go a lot higher that way. Like this. Another neat trick to learn is called the one-handed tic-toc. I've seen this done 2 different ways. I think this way a little bit easier, but I'm not very good at it. Like that. And then the second one is like this. And in my opinion, the first one isn't really a tic-toc because you're not keeping, this one is flipping. It's actually flipping. So it's more like a half of a flip. Like you don't do the tic-toc like this. You do it like this. And with this one, it's basically just the tic-toc with one hand. I can do this one a little bit better with my traditional double sticks. One of the ways I would say to learn this is to add one little hit on the other side when you're doing the tic-toc, on the opposite side of the double stick. You see how I'm doing the basic tic-toc, but then all of a sudden I'm just going to bring this one out to the side a little bit, and I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to bring it over and hit it over here. I usually bring it under a little bit. I just pull it in a little bit, kind of pull it back a little bit, and come over here and hit it on the other side. It's kind of hard at first because you're not used to hitting it over here with this side, but eventually you'll get better. So if you start off and then you add in just one hit like that, and then you can just keep going and add more and more every time you do it, and you can always keep this stick here to help you out. And when you get better, to make it more obvious that you're doing a one-handed tic-toc, you can put your stick down at your other side and do it like that, so, so people can tell that you're doing it with one hand. Another trick you can learn, and one of my favorite tricks, is this, the spin. Which just looks, and the spin just looks like this. This one is kind of something that you just keep working on yourself. It takes a little bit of time, and the more you do it, the better you get at it. You want to make sure that, I usually do it with my left hand and line it up with my right hand because I'm right-handed. And you want to do your your tic-toc, and then you want to make sure you put the devil stick center line onto the other hand stick, because that's what you're spinning on. The way that I learned to spin was when I was taking my right hand stick and lining up the center of the devil stick on the left hand stick for it to spin. Instead of taking it away and spinning it, I pushed the devil stick over the line, and then I took my right hand stick and I took it underneath, and I guided the devil stick around and back up, and would keep guiding it like this until I got better. So it looks somewhat like this. And I know it's a little fast, so it's hard to see. I'm not really very good at slowing it down, but it looked like this. Another really cool thing to add in is hand stick flips. I really like these a lot, and you can kind of add these anywhere. With this, you just hold your devil stick halfway. A lot of devil sticks have a collar in the middle, or they indicate where the middle is. Like mine, some hand sticks do that, but a lot don't. And so then you kind of just want to, in that case, kind of hold it like this and make sure it looks pretty much center in your hand, because that's important. And, you know, the first thing you want to do is get used to using your devil sticks when they're smaller, because you have a much smaller area, and that's a little hard to get used to at first. So you want to get used to using them like that, used to doing the tic-toc like this. And then get used to holding your hand, flipping it like this, and doing it like that. Now when you flip it, you want to have your hand like this. At least that's the way I hold it. I have my two bottom fingers like this, and then I have the devil stick in between my middle finger and my bottom finger, and I have them holding it kind of like that. And then I have this one kind of on top, and then my thumb comes around and holds it like this. And you want to make sure it's really strong. A lot of people just kind of hold it like this, or very loose, and that's the main problem, is that it's just not very strong. You want to make sure that you're holding it very strong, and then get used to it, because it does feel different holding it like that. And get used to doing the tic-toc like that, and then get used to flipping it. Then do your other hand, and I mean, you'll kind of experiment around with what works best for you, and then just alternate back and forth, flipping them like this. Now you can add these hand stick flips to really anything that you're doing, or any pattern. You can even do the helicopter like this. And that's what I'm going to teach you in my next video. Now if you're interested in learning how to do hand stick flips with the helicopter, or to do things like doing it underneath your leg, or doing, this is one of my favorite tricks, the bicycle, then check out my next video, because I'll explain all of these in my next tutorial. Thanks for watching my video.